Awesome. Welcome to Council, June 24th at 7 p.m. I can confirm we have a quorum. The Mayor and Council wish to acknowledge the town of Fort Smith is located within Treaty 8 territory. Treaty 8 territory also encompasses the traditional homeland of Salt River First Nation, the Métis Nation, and the Indigenous Métis peoples of Fort Smith. These nations have maintained stewardship of the sacred lands throughout the generations, and we honor your knowledge, teachings, traditions, and the land. We're mindful that colonization has not been kind, and we respectfully recognize our generational histories and commit to strive for unity in the spirit of truth and reconciliation. So, I can have someone move the agenda.
I move the agenda be adopted as presented.
All right. Seconded? Okay, thanks. Additions, amendments?
Can I add a briefing note under C, administration, for the approval for sidewalk repairs and including project management and design.
Oh, B, administration. Number 3, sidewalks.
Yes, sorry, number 3. Under C, number 3.
Awesome. Councilor Corbett, you're okay with the amended? Councilor Cox, you're okay with the amended? Okay. All in favor? Okay. Agenda is adopted as presented. We do not have any delegations tonight. So if I could have someone move the minutes of the regular meeting, 0525.
I move the minutes of the regular meeting of 0525, May 20th, 2025, seems redundant, be adopted as presented.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Councilor Cox, second. All right, all in favor? Meetings have been, or minutes have been adopted. Business arising from the minutes. Draft communication plan. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so this was the communication plan that was being developed in 2023. It wasn't fully completed, it was just in its draft state. So this is for information for council to go over. I think there are probably updates that have even come in the last couple of years that would need to be incorporated into this, but it was a starting point, so you can at least see the work that had been done up to this point. And then I guess, does anybody have any questions?
Thanks. All right, questions for the communication plan?
So
Yeah.
is that something then that the communications subcommittee is going to sit down and look at and then bring back to the full council, or is that something that will be addressed as council as a whole?
I think that would depend on, what was being done previously was there was the request for a communication strategy from council as a whole, and then the communication committee was working on this with staff to then fine tune it before bringing it back to council. So that would likely be the process that would be continued.
Thank you. So should we schedule a communication or committee?
Yeah, so we need to refine tune it, I guess, or whatever to bring back. Yeah. That's you too.
Do you guys want to set a date?
Well, not right now.
No, we'll do it after. Okay. SAO?
But also to highlight, so there is no dedicated staff person for this project or a dedicated budget to it. So just to keep that in mind, that this was taken on when there was the administrative assistant, executive assistant position, and part of their role was communications. So we don't have that same flexibility at this point in time. So I think figuring out the path forward with what this strategy is may require putting together a project substantiation and then possibly putting capital dollars to it. That would be an approval at a later time. Just to keep that in mind, that it may not be something that we can fully achieve in-house.
Or even to just do a phased approach.
Deputy Mayor?
Just remind me who's all on the communications committee. You two and okay, that's right. I couldn't remember who all was on it, so. Thank you.
Any other questions about the draft communication plan? Oh, sorry.
I think just
I just didn't have a chance to compare to it, I just got back in town today, but it'd be interesting to look and see how that plan aligns with the org review that we just had done. And I think it probably falls under the same category where it's are working towards, and probably we feel strongly about it next budget we want to try this issue. But the two go hand in hand.
Councilor Quebec?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I know this came up 2 councils ago. I was an advocate of pursuing the need for an actual communication strategy. And at the time, it had been suggested that we actually put this out for a professional to sit down and work with the communications committee to put together a proper and fully fleshed out communication strategy. The following council decided to pull it in-house, and I don't know, we may want to sort of, as part of our budgeting process, is revisit the possibility of bringing an outside consultant in to facilitate the process.
Thank you.
This one is more just about communications in general. So I thought that we were supposed to start communicating about the half funding fairly soon. I'm still waiting. When is that?
Sue?
So I think the final approval comes after this meeting, so one of the motions that's gonna be made will be associated with that, and then more that gets released. So it is accessible online right now.
Yeah. Like the
But
soft
this,
launch?
yeah,
Okay.
so we'll be adding to it, and expanding the parameters under which people can apply with this next motion.
Mostly because I would also like to understand what exactly is happening with this housing accelerator. So that I can answer questions when people come and talk to me about it.
Absolutely, and so I can make sure that whatever draft documents we have that are going to be used for publication, things like that. The mail drop is supposed to happen this week, so just follow the motion for the mail drop. Make sure that it circulates to council first, so that you have the information that you need. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all good. I know that there's a lot of things happening right now, so, but that is, with HAF community, they did a lot of hard work that's, on the hidden side of that, and, I really want to support their work as best as I can to answer those questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions on the draft communication plan? Okay. Moving on, state declaration of financial interest. None. Council business from the Protective Services Standing Committee meeting of June 3rd, 2025.
I move that Protective Services Standing Committee minutes from June 3rd, 2025 be adopted as presented.
Second?
Sure.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay, it's carried. Okay, the next one. 25143.
I'll move that DPA 026-25, submitted by Crystal and Jones, to operate a virtual-based counseling, wellness, consulting, and coaching services, Sweetgrass Healing Center Incorporated, from lot 359, plan 207, 13 Poppy Crescent, Portsmouth, be approved.
Thank you. Second? Tucky? All in favor? Carried. Next one, 25-144.
I'll do it. I move that DPA 028-25 submitted by Raphael Jensen Janinas to operate the production of smoked meats, fish, cured meats and sausages from lot 306, plan 207, 25 Vancouver Road, Portsmouth, be approved.
Thank you. Second?
Sure.
Okay, Cox? All in favor? Thank you. Next one, number 25145.
I will, move that the DPA -030-25 submitted by Leah McCurdy to operate gardening workshops and consulting business from lot 20, plan 1456 Pelican Street, Fort Smith be approved.
Thank you. Second?
Sure.
All right, Councilor Cox. All in favor? It was carried. Next, the Corporate Services Standing Committee meeting of June 3rd, 2025, number 25-146.
I move that the Corporate Services Standing Committee minutes from June 3rd, 2025 be adopted as presented.
Thank you. Second by Councilor Cox. All in favor? Perfect. Next, 25147.
I move that council accept first quarter variance report for information.
Second by Councilor Karshuk. Okay, all in favor? Oh,
Just
sorry.
point of order, if it was provided as for information purposes, I don't really see the need for an actual motion.
Yeah, for sure. It was, right? It wasn't.
It was for information.
They'll say it's keeping track of it.
Perfect. So it is now, it won't be number 25147. Thank you. All right. Next one, 25148.
I'll move that council authorize administration to proceed with direct awards under established standing offer agreements for goods and services related to council-approved capital projects where the costs fall within the approved project budget without the need for additional council approval where such awards exceed the SAO's individual signing authority.
Second by Benoit. All in favor? Number 25149.
I move that council approve the direct award of the Riverside Park and Lookout Update Project Management and Design Services to Mascot Engineering Limited under the town's existing standing offer agreement and authorize administration to proceed with the project in accordance with the proposed phased approach.
Thank you. Second? Councilor Corbett? All in favor? It is passed. Next, 25150.
I'll move.
Go ahead. Who's going?
I'll move that,
25150.
I'll move that council approve the addition of the streetscape improvements project to the 2025 capital plan with a total budget of $50,000 funded through the municipal capital budget.
Second? Councilor Corbett. All right. All in favor? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Motion passed. 25151.
I'll move that the council approve the sale of all listed surplus items through the GNWT auction on June 7th, 2025.
Thank you. Second by? All in favor? All in favor. Next, 25152.
I move that administration provided a briefing note on trade needs, disposal auctions, and associated costs related to the trailer stage, including alternatives if the town no longer retains it.
Thank you. Second? Benoit? All in favor? Perfect. Passed. 25153.
I'll do that one.
Okay.
The council.
Oh, yeah.
That council I move the council amend its meeting procedures on a 3-month trial basis beginning in August 2025 to holding 2 regular council meetings per month on the first and third Tuesdays at 7 p.m.
Thank you. Second by Deputy Mayor. Yeah, Councilor Beth.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would just like to get clarification if, before this takes effect, if administration can confirm whether we would need to amend our council procedures bylaw to facilitate this happening, and if so, that we do 2 readings or 3, try and do it in one particular meeting, all 3 readings.
Just making a note of that just a second. You want to make sure that administration, whether or not to confirm, we amend the council procedures bylaw? If we have to.
Yeah,
Okay.
if we need to amend the council procedures bylaw. I'd like to give it a try, but we
Yeah.
have to make sure that we're, I sort of recall seeing something in procedure, council procedures bylaw that specifies meeting dates and.
Yeah. Thanks. Noted. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no issues with asking Ben to take a reasoned look at that, but I did read the CTV Act and I did read our meeting procedures bylaw. Our meeting procedures bylaw, from my layman's interpretation, is that we have to have 1 meeting at least, is what it says, on the 3rd Tuesday of the month. So it doesn't preclude having one on the 1st Tuesday. But it never hurts to get someone who's maybe more legalistic to take a look at it.
Thank you. Anything else? Yeah, Councilor Heaton.
Is it possible, like, because we're gonna be donating the millions that were not here, or the monies that we're saving, that is gonna go directly into funds for donations, right? Yeah.
I know we,
It was an idea, it was never.
Oh, okay, can we make that happen?
a sale.
So I think that would just be a separate motion. So maybe once the switch is made, that might be the time to bring that in as a motion. To then budget for the remainder of the year. And then that can be made to, make the motion to move that allocated budget from one GL over to another.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion.
Councilor.
Yeah, the whole intent of this was to save money. We will certainly save money on what we get paid, but if town staff come back and say, for whatever reason, it's not saving, it's costing them more work or costing, so there's some discussion to be had before we make a long-term commitment, I think. So I'm supporting that, with Emily's feedback there gets bang on. I'm hoping it will be, everything else will be, because I think it's a great idea. But if it comes back that it's costing staff twice as much time, twice as much paper, twice as much energy, which is unlikely, we should know that before we start moving money around.
Okay, any other comments?
If this goes through, then does this mean that it carries on to the next elected officials?
It could be that. You can change anything when you do, as the new elected officials, right? So if they, just like we decided, geez, these meetings are this or that, or the times are different, they can do the same thing if they want to.
I mean, because it might be okay to us, but it might not be okay for some.
Correct.
Remember, it's a 3-month trial. So if we don't think it works, it won't go 4 months. But if it goes, so this is just a test. This is only a test. Do not adjust your screen.
So it will be rabbit ears?
Yeah, you should be, we just give it a run for its money, see what it does.
Okay. Any other questions? They're all awesome questions.
They are.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then,
Do you need all in favor?
I was just gonna ask that, all in favor?
What did you jump ahead?
Thanks. All right, so now we're moving on to the Community Services Standing Committee meeting of June 10th, 2025, 25152.
I'll move the Community Services Standing Committee minutes from June 10th, 2025 be adopted as presented.
Second,
I'll second.
Counselor Tucky. Okay. All in favor? 25153.
I move that council approve a donation of $2,500 from the music festival budget line item to the Fireweed Festival, $1,000 of it being put towards the rental of the stage, and the remaining $1,500 as a monetary donation.
Seconded by Counselor Cox. All in favor? Next, 25154.
I move that council approve a $1,500 donation, in-kind donation to the Howie Fest to be used towards the rental of the arena.
Seconded. Heaton, Counselor. SEO.
So I was asked to get a little bit more information, so, she didn't have a schedule right now, she said she thinks it's gonna be maybe 6 PM to 1 AM or 4 PM to 1 AM, she's not quite sure yet. She wasn't planning for specifically youth, events, but she still says there's a lot up in the air. And she would much prefer having alcohol service on the rink surface. She wasn't sure how that would work out of the mezzanine. So that was the feedback that I got. So, yeah.
All right, so Counselor Kershaw.
Wasn't the discussion that was had was that we will approve the donation if there was a youth component in the schedule? And for them to say, well, we don't know, I'm not comfortable approving it.
Thank you. Counselor Bedwell?
Yeah, having alcohol served in the mezzanine, that's upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just worried that if they drink too much up there, they're gonna fall down those stairs, like, to come back down to dance and use the bathroom or whatever. I mean,
Which doesn't make sense.
so, that's my concern.
Counselor Cravette?
Yeah. Much along the lines of Councilor Karasek, I was brought it up during the last discussion that there needs to be a youth component to it. I could see the general area being open to anybody from 6 to 10, and then from 10 to 1 being adult only. But I feel for us to be approving this kind of donation that is exclusive to a certain age category within the community does not really significantly build or involve in the community. And secondly is, I think this is an opportunity to show youth that we are a community, we do things as a community, and that they are welcome to come and participate in the celebration of the people that this is intended to recognize. So excluding the youth from that possibility to me is, I'm uncomfortable with that.
Counselor Bedwell?
I agree with him too, Mr. President, because, one of the members that was, in that plane crash that we're, remembering has a family and, their needs. So I think that we need to put something in there too, so they can, be a part of that.
Counselor Cravette?
Yeah. I would like to suggest an amendment to the motion being made, that council approve the 1,500 in-kind donation to the Howie Fest to be used towards the rental of the arena, contingent that the organizers provide a venue and recognition that the youth need to be able to participate as part of this festival. It can be
I think they need to provide more than just recognition, they need to provide.
I'm open to further refinement of the
But I know what you mean.
motion, but no, the motion needs to recognize, or needs to state that this funding is contingent upon the youth being able to participate, at least in a good point.
Well, why don't I suggest that you defeat this motion and that they come back with a revised as to like timelines as to it.
Well, this is happening on 2 weeks from now. I believe the date was July 12th, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel comfortable with going with an amendment so that it is, we can, that there, at least the organizers are then provided some certainty that if they do incorporate a youth component of the thing, that they will receive the donation.
So you want your amended motion to say that council approve the $1,500 in-kind donation to Howie Fest be used for the rental arena based on a youth contingent.
Contingent on the
Contingent
youth
on
component being included in the
Yeah.
festival.
Thank you.
Who's gonna, and administration will just verify the youth component? Okay.
Well, if there is no youth component, then we send them a bill for the rental.
Okay. All right, so Councillor Heaton, you second that. Are you okay with that as it's amended? Okay. Okay, no, go ahead.
Yeah, just kind of question to help clarify the alcohol policy as well. So I understand now there's a town policy that alcohol, and that was from previous council?
So the facility alcohol use policy is updated in 2021. So the public buildings where we allow alcohol consumption to happen are the rec center, but it's limited to the curling lounge, and then at the arena limited to the mezzanine. So that policy limited that. So it's just an approval to operate outside of that policy.
So, yeah, I guess we would need to clarify if we're approving that or if we're sticking with the minute. I think we would just want to clarify that as well to make sure that we're on the same page.
Councillor Tuckett.
I think just to avoid future problems with this question, we should just stick to what we have in place. If alcohol is restricted to a certain area, leave it that way. And treat everybody the same. It's much more simpler on us. And we're gonna have eventually you'll have somebody who's saying, well, can we take it from the curling rink and move it down to the gym? Well, you did it for people over at the rec center, and the other place. So if we leave things just the way they are, as a rule, I think that would definitely eliminate certain kind of requests like this.
There's a truth to what you say there, Councillor Ducky, but equally, there's many of us in this building who sitting here right now who have been at events before the thing changed, where it was on the surface. It made sense to have it down there. You're not picking people up and down staircases and different states of inebriation. I'm not sure that at some point that bylaw doesn't need, I mean, right now I'm quite comfortable revisiting that bylaw when the time comes to talk about that. Because I'm not sure that that was the right decision based on the use of that facility and based on the way I've seen it used for the 30 years I've lived here. So I hear you and I get, I think, I don't know that putting alcohol upstairs and having people going up and down that staircase in the arena was a smart decision. With drinking involved, I don't think that was a good call. But that's here near the here now. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
So,
It is, so, I mean, the most that it currently gets used is as a beer gardens, and that is the case, so people are using it and going up and down the stairs all day at hockey tournaments and things like that, so it's still accessible in the facility, but there's controls around it.
okay.
Yeah, I agree that, I'm just worried that somebody's gonna fall down the stairs, like, so I think, we've used it before in the rink, and, but what you're talking about is during hockey tournaments, like, I agree, it has to stay in the mezzanine because there are children running around in there. But in this case, there's no children in there at the time that alcohol is being served. So, I mean, I just don't want an accident, somebody get hurt.
Councilor Ross.
Just maybe a point of order. We seem to be discussing two separate motions here. Can we deal with the one motion on the floor, giving them $1,500 in-kind donation contingent on a youth component, and then we can introduce another motion to talk about providing a variance to the liquor on the ice surface, or something like that.
Thank you. All right, so the motion is the council approve the $1,500 in-kind donation to Howie Phelps to be used towards the rental of the arena contingent on a youth component. It's all in favor for that motion. Thank you. Okay, then, did someone want to make a motion arising from the discussion?
Yeah, someone will have to fill in the right one, but I'll move that council approve a variance allowing the establishment, is it a beer garden they want to run?
Yeah.
On the ice rink surface.
Yeah.
But limited to beer, else it's a bar.
Okay, so I'll to provide, to allow liquor being served on the ice rink surface as part of the festival, and I don't know if I need to quote the right bylaw because I don't know the number of it. Facility use bylaw.
Perfect, thank you.
Policy.
Seconded by Keaton, thank you. Discussion?
I think we have it.
Okay, I had something to add,
Yeah.
and it might make it easier for their youth component then, because you can isolate the youth from the ice surface so that they can watch from the stands. So then you're not mixing minors with adults who are drinking, and the mezzanine then could be the youth space. So if that's a liquor, because you have to get a special license if you're gonna have youth when there's alcohol involved, and this way, if you reverse those two locations, you've made it safe for families, youth, and kids to then watch whatever music is happening on the ice surface, and you've separated it from the alcohol. That's my suggestion.
I don't like that tradition.
You like that
I
suggestion?
don't,
Oh,
no, I don't like children watching alcohol.
Alcohol being
alcohol.
consumed.
well, no, like,
So, I
Yeah.
mean, you can have your youth activities before a certain time and then they gotta be,
yeah, separate.
but I don't like for youth to be watching people drink alcohol.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same point. Seemed like a really good idea, and then thinking about it in another context. The other question I would have, if they did that, is who's responsible for controlling who's going to go where?
You have to with your liquor license.
It's,
It's part of getting a liquor license. You have to provide security.
if a third party has a liquor license on a town event, they're completely responsible for all the
Correct.
fencing. Yeah.
They actually should have insurance for event insurance or their,
Posted enough of those, maybe.
Counselor Carson.
I'd like to amend my motion to allow the serving of liquor on the ice surface during the adult portion of the house fest.
Okay, Counselor Keaton, you seconded that? You're okay with the amendment? All right. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? Okay, it is carried. You opposed? Counselor Keaton, did you raise to yes for that one? Okay, yeah. One opposed. All right, moving on. 25155. Move it.
I'll move that the Community Services Advisory Board meeting minutes from May 29th, 2025 be adopted as presented.
And seconded.
One second.
Did you have a question? Okay. All in favor? Perfect, passed. So now moving on to the Municipal Services Standing Committee meeting of June 10th, 2025, 25156.
I move that the Municipal Services Standing Committee minutes from June 10th, 2025 be adopted as presented.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Corbett. All in favor? It is passed. Number 25157.
I'll move the council approve the implementation of Initiative 3, Single Attached Home Incentive under the Housing Accelerator Fund, as recommended by the HAF Committee, and direct administration to proceed with the program rollout, including publication of the associated program guidelines and communications materials.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay. You know, no use. Okay. All in favor? Okay. Passed. 25158.
I move that council approve the award of contract for consulting services related to the town's water license renewal application to AECOM in the amount of $156,407 plus GST to be funded through the town's community public infrastructure CPI allocation.
Thank you. Second, Deputy Mayor. All in favor? It's passed. All right, so now we're moving on to our bylaws and procedures. We have no new ones. So C, administration, we have a few briefing notes. So the first one is on the extension of the Salt River First Nation Municipal Service Agreement. Do you want to start? Okay, we can move it first, yeah. Oh, you should remove yourself, yes. Sorry, thank you. I'll come grab you, sorry.
I move that council approve the second extension of the Salt River First Nation Municipal Services Agreement to January 4th, 2026, or until a new agreement is signed, and authorize the mayor and SAO to execute the extension.
Thank you. Seconded by Deputy Mayor. Okay. Discussion? Councilor Pritchett?
As it's worded, to January 4th or until a new agreement is signed means it could be later.
SAO?
I don't think that was the intent of the motion.
No.
It should be, I would suggest an amendment until January 4th, 2026, unless a new agreement is signed before then.
Unless, okay.
Because otherwise, the way it's said,
Yeah.
they could just go to the whatever.
SAO, did you want to say anything?
No, it's pretty good. We received the request for the extension. So in response to that, we're continuing to work through this process. We are happy to extend that until we can come to a formal agreement.
Any questions?
We'll move, accept the amendment.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Do you accept the unless you agree?
Unless-
It's under here, yeah. Seconded.
Deputy Mayor, you accept change to be amended? Right on. Yeah.
How close are we to this new MSA, because it's gonna be for TDM as well, right?
No, this is just Salt River First Nation.
So, but the framework.
For
is
sure.
also-
Correct. We would hope that would be
Name all.
used for all, right?
So how close are we?
We're getting pretty close. We're at the end. We're at the final stretch of it.
So we feel sad when Mike is just sitting there.
I know, trust me, I hear it, yes. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, it is carried. Perfect. I'm just gonna grab, oh, are you grabbing? Mommy? Yeah? Yes. It was the fun money, yeah. Thank you, Councilor Denwell. Moving on to the next one, the briefing note, recommendations for awarding the slope monitoring contract to WSP. Want to move it?
I move the town enforcement award contract to WSP E&I Canada Limited to undertake the work required under the slope monitoring project for the sum of $175,000, and that the funding is to come from the contribution agreement with Cernak.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Cruzet. All right. Questions? Councillor Cruzet?
Just for clarification, I would assume that the Cernak funding has already been secured.
Asil?
Yeah, so this is something that, I mean, the intention was to move on with this in 2022, so the motion was passed by council then, and I think really it was oversight that we haven't moved to this one before, because we've been working with WSP since that point. So we just want to make sure that that is documented, but all the funding from Cernak is secured.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Kurschuk?
Just under my own education, what does CERNAC stand for?
Stands for what Jim wrote it in there. Sorry.
It's a federal funding program through Indigenous and Northern Affairs.
Any other comments, questions, discussion? Thank you. All in favor? It is passed unanimously. The next is a briefing note, approval for sidewalk repairs and improvements, project management design and services. I can also move it.
I'll move that council approve the direct award of the sidewalk repair and improvement project, management and design services to Masco Engineering Limited under the town's existing standing offer agreement, and authorize administration to proceed with the project in accordance with the proposed phased approach.
I'll second.
Okay, SAO, sorry.
So heading into this, it hadn't been approved yet to go through how we'll work with the standing offers, so didn't want to jump the gun. So this is just another example of a capital project where we have our standing offers of project management. And this is the best fit of our options for this project. Is being able to be on the ground very quickly. And has provided some engineering standards for our sidewalks in the past. So that was part of why the choice was made for this company as the project management.
Thank you, Councillor Correct.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was just wondering if the administration had any ideas of timelines for the actual tendering of the actual pouring of the sidewalks and the actual repair work that we've budgeted for.
SAO?
It would be still coming in this construction season, so thankfully designing a snowboarding shack and lookout and warming shelter is a lot more complicated than our sidewalks, thankfully. So this process will be faster, and then we can actually put it out to tender. Then it's finding local contractors, hopefully, who can bid on and complete the work within the construction season. So that's the plan.
Thank you.
So it is a $400,000 budget. So hopefully there are quite a few projects we can tackle in that time.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? Yeah, Deputy
I
Mayor.
just feel the need to just say that one of the main infrastructures on this project will be put across in front of my property. So I don't know that it's a conflict because it's a broader project, but I just want to go on the record as saying I do know it's part of the project. This is what's called the wall in front of my place will be replaced as part of this. So I know it's a teeny piece of this bigger project, but
Okay.
just if there's any concerns, I can step back from the table for any discussions.
SAO?
And it was confirmed it was a piece of infrastructure installed by the town. So still town infrastructure, not anyone's personal.
Okay. Noted. Excellent. Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay, it is passed unanimously. Okay. Okay, so it comes to the time where all the folks get a chance to speak about their council or their board representation and what they've been up to this past month. And as always, we start off with Councillor Tuckey. We'll move your way around the circle.
Well, I really don't have too much to say. Some families lost loved ones over the last month. I want to express my condolences to them all. I would like to congratulate our Indigenous groups, our partners, for a very successful Aboriginal Day celebration. Very well attended. And basically, that's all I have.
Thank you. Councillor Fox?
Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to recognize the hard work for everybody involved on the Tulip Lake fire. I know it's real easy for us to be complacent this year because it was far away on the other side of the river. We don't think about it. We were super lucky so far, knock on wood, with smoke. But it is worth recognizing lots of effort went in, Fire and Flood brought in their amazing resources again. And it's worth recognizing that fire was not that far away if the winds had been blowing in the right direction, or wrong direction, I guess. So yeah, thanks to all those involved. It's a good reminder for us to keep up with our fire smart activities because it's still a thing. So.
Thank you. Councillor Clement?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Tuckey covered 3 of my 4 points, so thank you, gentlemen. Just wanted to make a point. It's been in the news this week that the Power Corp has been sent back to the drawing board with regards to their rate application, and a lot of that is due to the effort from the town and our representatives in putting a lot of work and effort into intervening into the process. It's far from over. They will probably be coming back trying to figure a new way to hollow out our pockets. So the intervention committee will continue to monitor, and we will be busy with this as it moves forward.
Thanks, Councillor Beck. Councillor Fennell?
I sit on the museum board, and our manager had stepped down, but we moved Star into that position, and she's doing really great.
Thank you.
Sure. So I've been very busy, but just like everyone. But I do want to speak to the Uncle Gabe's Friendship Center lunch program. So that wrapped up, and we're very grateful and happy to be providing meals, hot meals for 30 students. So the program is going to be happening again in September. I was also there to help with the Pride Festival, so set up and tear down, and I think the Portsmouth Pride Association, they did a great job with that. The community gardens are looking very, very nice. The plots for the food bank are looking very good, and we're hopeful that those are going to produce a lot of fresh vegetables for our community members who do need that extra support. And then this past weekend, Indigenous Peoples Day, very busy, extremely busy. But it was a great turnout, and yeah, I think everyone had lots of fun and lots of activities to choose from. So great job all around, and that one was actually extremely collaborative. So grateful to be a part of all of the cool things that are happening within our community for that.
Yeah, just a couple things. One, it's kind of a bit in the rearview mirror, but I want to give a big shout out to the Tabaxi Leadership Council for sponsoring the grad banners up and around town. Education is always kind of dear to my heart. That's where I came from, and I noticed them as soon as they were being put up, and I thought, wow, what a great idea. They look fantastic. So kudos to the TLC, and if you can pass that on to them. And then similarly on an education then. summer break is coming up, so there's gonna be a lot more youngsters out and about and on the streets, so please be aware. And to all those traveling over the summer break, have safe travels.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
I got to attend the college grad as deputy mayor and present the Duncan McPherson Award in the last couple of weeks, which was very lovely and was well received there, and it was very nice. Had a good chat with a lot of the grads. Met a young man who apparently I might be related to indirectly, that was one of the grads, and didn't even know we're both at Fort Smith, so it was a really interesting day. And secondly, I mentioned that the mayor was at the start of the meeting, I'm off to Yellowknife tomorrow for the NWT Associated Communities meeting to look through the insurance plan and to look through some of the initiatives that they've got. I have got a package yesterday that I looked at quickly, but by next meeting, hopefully, if there's anything comes out, I'll be able to brief you guys on where that went. So we are actively involved, and I think I told you last meeting, but I'll repeat it again now. When I was in Finland, I got promoted to the vice chair of cities, towns, and villages on that board, so I don't know quite what that means, but I hope to learn that in the next 2-3 days.
Oh,
So we'll see how that all works out.
Okay, thanks, Mike. So, you guys hit most of the big stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I just wanted to make mention that late May, early June, I traveled to Ottawa with Councillor Heaton. So we attended the I always get it wrong, FCM, AGM, and the trade show. There was several keynote speakers, very informative. There's a lot of information there. I just want to give a big shout out to Daniel Wilson, our own EDO, who attended and spoke on behalf of Destination Canada. And he was kind of like a little celebrity then for the rest of the weekend, but he was really well received. He hit it hard there. It was awesome. I think the highlights from that for me is just meeting all the other mayors, like the mayor from Toronto, the mayors from across Canada. No matter the size of their community, they're experiencing exactly the same issues that we're seeing, like so with addictions and unhoused and affordability issues and everything like that. Everything that you can think of, just to scale. And they are also, everyone at those tables spoke to how governments are not funding them appropriately, and they're struggling just as we are struggling when we're fighting with GNWT for our funding cuts. It's across Canada. So we were kind of an outlier though because of the way we collaborate with like TLC and work with our Indigenous groups. That was, every time we had a conversation, that was something like, really, what's happening there? And then, you talk about it and they're just like, wow, right? Because Northwest Territory is kind of its own little thing where we don't really have reserve land, like not reserves as you would see outside of the territories, if that makes sense. So really learning experience for them about our experiences up here too. So I thought that was a really great way to collaborate, just get ideas from other people. This month was fairly busy for things for me. I attended the Ron Holtorf Celebration of Life, where I spoke to it on behalf of the town, because he was a long community member, but also he had lots to do with status as a town councillor for many years. Also attended the Frank Rubin Pride event, which I think was very successful. It looked very well attended and organized, and such a good group. Again, Indigenous Days was well received. I sat there, and me and Jay McDonald got voluntold to sit there for hours to judge everything, and so we did that till about 6:30, 7 o'clock that night, and I didn't get any fish, so no one fed us, but when we left, I was too hungry, I had to go home. And I went to the Anglican Church unveiling of their new logo. I went to the PWK High School Awards and presented our awards there from the town that we did there. And we're working with TLC right now on some college strategy, but just as a high note from college, for Aurora College, is I think a success, is we're gonna have our in-class learning general studies program this fall with at least 12 in-classroom students and 10 online. So that is a huge win for Fort Smith, because that means in-class diploma and degree programs are aggressive and happening here for there. But that's a good thing, but there's other things in regards to college, and we'll have more information from TLC that shortly. So yeah, I'm looking for at Canada Day next week. Woohoo! So task is something. So moving on the agenda, we have no proclamations. So I could get someone to 25159 for the absence of council members.
I move that Council Babe and Mayor Ferguson be excused from the Community Services Standing Committee meeting on June 10th, 2025.
Thank you. Second by Councilor Pruitt. All in favor? Okay. Next one, 25160.
I'll move that Councilor Babe and Mayor Ferguson be excused from the Municipal Services Standing Committee meeting on June 10th, 2025.
Thank you. Second,
I'll second.
Taki. All in favor? Okay, awesome. Passed unanimously. So the next date of council meetings are as follows. Okay, Protective Services and Corporate Services on July 8th at 6:30 p.m. Community Services and Municipal Services to start at 6:30 p.m. And the regular meeting of council, July 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m. There's, and just if I could have someone excused tonight.
I move that Councilor Bath be excused from the regular meeting of council on June 24th, 2025.
Thank you. Seconded by?
Sure.
Cox.
Councilor Bates as well.
Bates. That's what I-
Babe.
Oh, you gotta put money in the jar.
Maybe we should have an amendment.
Moved by
Thank you.
Councilor Corbett.
All in favor? Thank you. So if I could have a motion to adjourn,
I move we adjourn at 7:56 p.m.
seconded by? Cox, thank you. All in favor?
I dropped it.
All right. Are you here to talk to us? It's now time if there's question period.
No, I'm here for,
We never get people in the stands. Come tell us something. Come on.
They only examine
Watch
it.
us.
Think about running next election?